I've been 3D scanning almost everything for like a year now, and I've been using the app Polycam. And the cool thing about that app is that it lets you upload those captures so that everybody can see them. And so I've been getting to see people's captures from all around the world. So I've spent the last 5 years getting my degree in fine art. So every day I wake up and I think about art. And so many of the captures that I've seen on the app are just so contemporary art sculptures. So today I'm going to take people's captures, export them, and put them into a virtual exhibition space. Anything to add? Okay, so everything that I've been finding, I've been saving into an album. So let's select and export some. For example, we've got a pile of trash from Paris. This is one of the first captures I ever saw when I started 3D scanning, and it just grabbed my attention because, I mean, look at it. These are super easy to export. I'm not sure if I'm gonna try to pick a theme for all of these because they're from many different countries and there are a lot of different themes. So I think this one is gonna be like a very general exhibition. Thankfully, as part of my degree, I learned how to just come up with stuff to say. So I think this exhibition could be centered around like the human condition. Okay. Here we are, I'm kind of nervous. We can start by making the gallery space, so I'm gonna get rid of this. I think this has to be quite big so it can fit everything, but I'm probably gonna be adjusting it later. So I'm gonna say like 20 meters by 20 meters. That looks good. I'm also going to try to add the textures as we're building things. So I'm gonna make this floor wood. Perfect. These planks are huge though. If we were using planks that big, it would mean that we committed some kind of environmental monstrosity. I'm just gonna try to map it nicely. Yeah, something smaller, maybe like that. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because every time you use a texture, you can tell at what point it repeats, and it does look very fake, but it looks good though. I like it. I will say though, the floor is looking kind of shiny, a little bit unusually so for wood. So I'm just gonna fix that. Yeah, it looks good. We're gonna start with this cheeseburger. It looks so good. Yeah, I love it. So I don't want it sitting on the floor like this, so I'm gonna make a plinth for it. This is already looking good. Plinths are usually not that much bigger than the object, but they're not choking the object either. Figuring out how to choose the right plinth was like half of my program. It looks good. I don't like those bits of the original model sticking out from the plinth though, so I'm just gonna lower the whole cheeseburger a little bit. I love it, that's so funny. Oh, I feel like I should import a person so I can see how big everything is. I also just decided I don't like the wood, so I'm gonna find a concrete texture to replace the floor with. I feel like a worn concrete floor looks good. Why does this look so bad? So do you see the vision? We're trying to go for like industrial contemporary art gallery. So we're gonna put that away for now. Then it's time for our next object. So this is a really cool scan of somebody's bedroom chair with clothes in it. I think it's pretty cool. I like it. I feel like that's an appropriate size for a realistic chair. Like if we look at the cheeseburger beside it. Okay, next object. Okay, we've got, oh no, nothing is to scale. This is supposed to be like a sign. Like I think on the side of the road. Yeah, like a big gas station sign. So I'm gonna make this as big as I think it would be in real life. Maybe like that. It's really hard to say. I'm gonna leave it that way for now. Yeah, and then I'm gonna put it somewhere where it's not blocking all of my light. Up next, we have a pretty cool boundary marker from the Czech Republic or something. Let me check. Get it? Czech? Like you check the Czech. I kind of like how it's tilted. I hope that's not disrespectful to anybody in the Czech Republic if your boundary marker is tilted. But it looks cute. And honestly, this one doesn't need a plinth. I think it's cool if it's like its own thing. I will say I am gonna make it bigger. So let's get it out of the way. Next object. Next up, somebody scanned the sand of a beach. This is so cool. Like, oh, it even has a footprint. Oh, okay, look, a footprint. Okay, I would assume it's gonna be like that big. And I was thinking this could be kind of just like sand on the gallery floor. So we are going to try to make that happen. So obviously we're gonna need to rotate it a little. Yeah, it looks flat from all sides, so that's good. And then I have to make sure that it's as flush with the floor as we can so that we don't have any kind of shadow, so that it does look like it's, oh, perfect. This looks so good. I might even do a little bit more. Yeah, I think something like this looks pretty natural. This is so cool. Okay, so we're gonna scooch that out of the way as best as we can. Okay, next up, we've actually got a really, really cute, these are somebody's like hen eggs. And I actually love that little patch of grass that it's got. Whew! So this for sure needs a plinth. I think the burger wasn't to scale. I think I've been scaling everything up because that's a gigantic burger. Yeah, this is cute. I don't know if I want the plinth to have any surface area on the top or if I want it to just be grass. Oh, I definitely need to make these plinths a white wall material. How big is this burger? 0.81 meters. Wait, isn't that 80 centimeters? That burger is oversized, and I shouldn't be trying to scale everything else to the burger. So I'm gonna put everything back. The worst part about trying to do anything is having to fix mistakes. So remember how I said I needed a human to help me scale everything? I think I'm gonna import a human now. I guess that's the good thing about working with objects that aren't real, is that you can make them as big as you want. So you can make a burger 80 centimeters big. Okay, we've got a human. The burger is way off, as we suspected. I don't know why every model is fine, but the burger is gigantic. Okay, I'm realizing I can't see anything. So I'm just gonna duplicate the light source. I'm gonna have like actual gallery lamps on each of the sculptures, but just not right now. That's gonna be the very last thing that we do. I'm gonna resize this burger because it's driving me crazy. So we're gonna move the human close to the burger. Maybe that's a little close. Yeah, look at that. It's about 8 times the size of his head. There we go. That looks like a normal burger. If something feels off, it's because it is. That's probably my best piece of 3D sculpting advice. Okay, another thing I'm noticing is the sand feels a little small for what I'd like. I can see that the boot print on the sand looks about the same as it would be on the guy, but I don't really care. I just feel like it should be bigger, you know, like it needs to be an overwhelming piece of sand in a gallery. Even just that much looks good. Yeah, okay, perfect. So now that we've fixed the sizes, I can keep adding objects. Next up, this is a bigger one too. This is some trash from Paris. It looks great. I love it. I love it here. We do have another piece of food, and it's this soup. No, it's not soup. This is meal. So let's put it on a plinth because I don't want a thing of soup on the floor. Okay, so we're in a good place right now. I think I'm gonna start building some walls. Yeah, let's make this really big. Maybe a wall that's 5 meters is good for a gallery. It's very high. Yeah, I like that. Unfortunately, I'm not basing this on a real gallery. I also don't want it to be a white cube. So let me think for a sec. I think I want to have some sort of hallway right outside the exhibition with windows. So I want it to be like, yeah, like a little wall. See, and then you can come in through the sides, here and here. There's the 4th wall. I want this to be a hallway, so I'm going to shorten these walls a little bit. Yeah. And then back here, I want that to be like one big glass window. I forgot the word for window for a sec. Added some glass. I've also switched the render engine. I'm going to switch it back really quick so I can keep working without all the grain. Okay, so now I'm locking in and figuring out the actual layout of the gallery and realistically where all the walls go and everything. And I'm just working really fast. This video is definitely not sped up or anything. The first thing I'm deciding is that I want a more rectangular gallery as opposed to a square. And I want another wall in the middle, and then I can get more serious about the layout. But then I'm noticing that there's 3 white walls, and I don't have a lot of wall art. It's mostly standalone sculptures. So I'm just gonna add another window. And this is the other good thing about working in a fake 3D space, is that I don't need to find artworks that suit the gallery. I can build a gallery that suits the artworks. And then I arrived at this really cool window corner. After that, it's time to rearrange the artworks. And this process, even in real life, like with real art, for me is very vibes based. You know, like don't put 2 big things next to each other, but some things make sense to group together. Like for example, the 2 plinths. I do want them to be nearby. It's just, but I can't tell you why though. Like it's very vibe based, very intuitive. You kind of just have to trust yourself with this. So I left the artworks for the wall till last so that I could have some walls. And the first thing I'm importing is these really cool Soviet tiles. It's literally a flat scan, kind of like the sand. So I think it's pretty easy to put on the wall. And I think having such a 3D exhibition, it's important to have rectangular wall stuff. Again, very vibe based. It just makes sense to me. You've got the regular objects on the floor and then the square ones on the wall. Next up, of course, is the hand holding a beef chop. And this was, of course, my opportunity to have that sticking out of the wall. And I also found a pepperoni pizza that was perfectly scanned. It's little, but I like it. I definitely like the wall in the middle. Like, it gives you a path for you to explore the exhibition, and then you kind of go around it, as opposed to just wandering aimlessly. And the next bit we imported it's a stone carving, marble carving maybe, from an actual Roman tomb. So like, out of all of the things I've imported, this is the one where you could argue that it belongs in a gallery the most. So I think it's a nice contrast with the other pieces, especially because from a certain angle of the gallery, you're going to be able to see the pile of Paris trash. And then right behind it, this like beautiful marble carving. So these are the kinds of things I like to see in an exhibition. Lastly, and this might be the coolest scan I have ever seen, somebody scanned the clouds from an airplane window. So originally I kind of wanted to have that on the actual ceiling, so it kind of looked like the clouds were on the ceiling. But ultimately, I like it as a wall piece more, also because I have a wall that I need to fill. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, it looks so good. And then just looking at the exhibition, I think the pizza needs to be bigger. Some things in this exhibition aren't life-sized, such as the clouds, and now the pepperoni pizza. But yeah, again, vibes-wise, this just looks good. Okay, today we're gonna work on the actual lighting, which is pretty exciting. I moved all the scans to a different folder, so it looks like I'm gonna have to relink everything. Although this hot pink actually looks so good. So upon first glance, it might look like this exhibition, like you can see stuff, so it might look like it's already lit. Like, why would you need to bother with that? But there's just some shadows from the walls and from the plinths and everything that we traditionally don't want. So that's why we want kind of separate lights on each artwork. So we're gonna turn the main light into a spot light. Let's try to light the sand first. I feel like that's gonna be the easiest. Something like that looks good. Yeah, let me try to do all of them. So unfortunately, this light straight on eliminates a lot of the volume and texture that the clouds have. That's another thing to consider. So I'm probably gonna have this light from an angle, so there's some shadow. See, they disappear when the light is shined on straight on. So yeah, and this looks good. So if I delete the other more global light that we have, we can start to see how it looks, which is great. I'm gonna keep working like this. It's looking good. The only issue here is that having this many lights starts to get confusing. They have so many little lines and yeah. The meat hand is technically my first wall piece that is actually 3D, and having only one light on it creates a really harsh shadow. So I'm gonna have 2 lamps on it. That looks so much better. The plinths are pretty easy because 1 light from above should be enough. It's not bad. The shadow is very harsh, but I'm gonna finish lighting everything else and then I'm gonna see what I think. To be honest, I even feel like having a double shadow like that around the sculpture or behind it is very characteristic of galleries. Like, when you see this shadow, when you look at this, you can like hear the echoing footsteps and like whispers of everybody at a gallery, right? Or am I crazy? Am I delusional? Ooh. When lighting the sign from this side, it makes this huge shadow on the wall, which completely clogs the wall piece right beside. So I'm gonna have to come back to that. Just making sure I didn't forget to light anything. No, I think it looks great. Okay. Yeah, this looks like a hairbrush. One very important thing that I want to do. So this wall here, I want it to be where the exhibition didactic sits. So the title, and in this case, because it's a group exhibition, the names of the artists. I'm gonna do that right now. All right, I think that's everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what I'm gonna do is put them in alphabetical order. Okay, I do want the Polycam logo in here. It's not sponsored, but it should be. Polycam, if you're watching this, sorry. No, if you're watching this, you could sponsor me. Okay, we gotta come up with a name. So I'm gonna ask my bestie. Oh, these are good. Are they Polyvision? That's kind of cool. Polyrealm. That's great. Polyscapes. Anything that starts with poly sounds great. 3D Wonders. Yeah, that's a no. To be honest, I'm gonna go with Polyvision. Wouldn't it be so cool if I found like a cool font? Ooh, yeah, like that. That's cool. Lines are very thin, and I don't know if I like that. So perfect. Would it look dumb if I do Polyvision like this? Okay, I think I don't like it all crammed into one part of the wall when I have the whole wall. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Let's see how it looks. Final thoughts. I really like how this turned out. I already want to do it again. I think for the next one, I'm going to do one with my own scans. I think it would be so much fun to show you exactly what I've been working on. I hope you enjoyed this video, and to be honest, if you ever feel like doing something similar, I would highly recommend it. There's so many inspiring 3D scans, and I definitely think it's the future of 3D photography and art in general. So I would love to find a way to bring this exhibition in the real world, but for some reason it's 2024 and we don't have reliable holograms yet. So aside from using VR, I don't see a way to really bring this to the real world, which sucks. But yeah, thank you for watching.